Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. So I am going to attempt to use the car. Boy, the interface has totally changed. I'm going to have to do an episode just on the new interface. But I wanted to do a full test drive of the 10.8 beta. It's a couple of days late because I was out of town. Finally got in. Do not have COVID. I've tested myself twice, but I do have a cold. So yay, little extra thing. So anyway, I'm going to route myself to the gym, but try to add a waypoint. So we'll get to see if I do a good job with that right now. So anyway, hop over into the front seat. So we are navigating, and I believe if I pull this up, maybe that, nope. There's supposed to be a little thing where you just hit, add a stop. There we go. Okay. So let's add a stop and, oh goodness. Let's do Lowe's. That's like Edge Bridge. Yes. Okay. So we'll add that in, and hopefully that will cause us to have to drive a little bit. Yeah. Okay. That sounds like fun. All right. So let's go ahead and start this beastie off and put it in park, man, and everything. And the PRND is like up there now. Okay. It's all quite different. And let's see if I can. Auto steer is unavailable. Well, okay. Not a great beginning. Let's see if we can actually get the little, maybe, oh, there we go. Okay, so the visualization's starting. Oh, whoa. Okay, so yeah, it looks like there's no longer those big symbols anymore. It's just little ones, and I believe I should be able to pull this. Oh, wow, look at that. All right. So hopefully, yeah. Okay, so down in the bottom corner now, this new interface is going to cause some trepidation in here until I figure it out. So I'm always careful about new interfaces. They are one of those things where when they first come out, you always think like, oh, this is terrible. What are they doing? What are they doing? It's just different than it was before. So we're just going to have to give it a few days and see how it works. But what I want to see mostly is how the full self-driving, oh, this is really cool. So I turned that on. That's a automated system for whenever the turn signal goes on, it automatically turns on the little side view mirror so you can see to the blind spot behind you. So that should be super advantageous. My wife, Misinformation, hates the fact that the car doesn't beep at her when somebody's in the blind spot. So hopefully that will help her a little bit because she'll be able to see that. At least she'll be able to look there and check visually whether that's going on or not. Wow, this car, I have to say already, I'm just starting this drive and it hasn't really done too much yet, but it is so much smoother. It's just crazy how smooth this car feels right now as opposed to what it used to. Let me just, for interest's sake, just try to pull this. Yeah, okay, so we can go back and forth very easily. So it's just a quick drag back and forth. It'll be interesting to see what it does at the edge of our neighborhood because this is always a spot that causes problems. It likes to get stuck at the, you'll see the stop sign up here coming up is way before where the line is where you need to stop. And so what you need to do is just kind of ignore the stop sign and creep out to where the line is. And most of the time, yeah, it's still doing the same thing. So again, that's kind of a flag. Let's see if I can put a little, yep, autopilot. So anyway, it's better than it was. It's kind of just creeping consistently. All right, that was very smooth. Very nice. Okay. And see, this is a problem as always, is it thinks that it's only 25 here. And I just don't know why the car can't sort of learn and use the GPS data, the map data, to know that it's 50 here. So as soon as we pass the 50-mile-an-hour sign, then it will jump up to 50, and then we'll go. So, oh, that's very cool. As I roll the speed limit thing, it actually kind of pulses a little bit. So they've reduced this, and they've cleaned it up in the corner in the top left, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is... So I was driving 10.6, and admittedly, I have been in Mexico driving an old Chevy stick shift car around, and I mean that was it was like driving the 90s. Was to drive that car, so it's going to feel better anyway. But this is pretty astounding so far. So we'll see how it handles a few funky situations, and yeah, I'm very, very impressed so far. It's just, I don't know, there's some sort of confidence level. The other versions always felt a little maybe jerky or questionable, like they didn't really quite get it. I really like the visualization, that's great. And it's especially nice with autopilot on because now I can see how things are going, and you know, I can determine without having to look all over the place whether the car is making a good turn or not. Oh my gosh, holy crap. I mean, that left-hand turn was ideal. That was as smooth as a human being does it, a good human being. And okay, so you see that car that went across, it did not slow down. It's slowing down a teeny bit at this light. It used to always brake completely at this light, so now it's going through, it just braked a teeny bit. Yeah, okay, so it's supposed to be taking, all right, let's see what it does here. That was a weird little move, but let's see, it's slowing down a little bit. It needs to get over here, so, okay, so it's getting over, and it accelerated. Oh, interesting. Okay, so now we're going to see what happens, because it bailed out on the lane change, and it really needed to do that lane change. Especially because the guy got out of the way, so it's going to be, I'm just going to let it ride and see what happens when the red light changes. But so interface-wise, I'm not understanding, because there's supposed to be quick controls here somewhere. Maybe it's a swipe up. Oh, that's not it. Okay, let's see. Maybe swipe up from here. Okay, so there we got, okay, auto. Let's turn this on to auto. I'm interested. So there's an automatic seat warmer situation now if you have it in auto mode, so I'll be curious. I also like the fact that it knows that there's nobody here, so it's like, nope, don't need to have that. Okay, so apparently it's a swipe up to access these controls. I don't know where the other ones are, though, because this is all just the seat and everything. Obviously, if I push the windshield wiper, it turns on that thing. So, I don't know. Ooh, all right, car, let's see what you do. All right, here we go. It's got to get over 2 lanes right now. And it is going to ask, well, it's put itself into an awkward situation, but let's see if it can handle it. Is it going to make it? Is it going to make it? No, it's not going to make it. Okay, so, okay, dude. Oh, man. That was aggressive on the car's part. I was just about to have to take over, so I don't know what the hell it's doing now. All right, it's rerouting itself. Okay, so it rerouted. That was again a navigation issue. It did get kind of screwed over. It was making the turn as the light changed, so that was kind of an unfortunate situation. But you know, and it's handled it. I have not had to disengage. Oh, man, the turns. Yeah, the turns are really smooth. It's like it is night and day between 10.6 and this, or 10.5. Excuse me, 10.5. I never got 10.6. So forgive me if I make mistakes between those, because everybody was talking about 10.6, and so I had it in my brain. Anyway, it was 10.4, 10.3 was the first version I had, and then 10.4, and then put it 10.5. Had that for a very long time, and now, of course, obviously the upgrade to 10.8. So it should be a big improvement, but man, it is significant here. I actually like this route better. I'm glad that we didn't go on the highway. Excuse me. Goodness, nothing like picking up a cold in a foreign country. It feels amazing. And yes, got the masks. Got to be careful. But like I said, tested a bunch of times. We got tested twice before we left because we got delayed by a day, and then got tested last night as well. So we're being pretty careful, wearing masks and isolating from everybody for 5 days before we see family or anything. So anyway, it's the consequence of trying to travel these days. It's a pretty crazy world. I don't know why this guy's got his hazard lights on. That's ridiculous. By the way, that's something that people do in Mexico all the time. It's really fun. They use hazard lights in a very, very effective way, I think, personally. They just flip them on whenever they're not going near the speed limit, and that works out very well. So this car should... Yes, okay. I wasn't really paying attention to the navigation route, but I was like, it should turn here, so... Alright, let's see how it handles. This is a funky turn. That's a little bit jerky. Alright. I did have my hand on the wheel. I guess I just didn't have enough pressure, but... Okay, that was a little jerky. It wasn't as smooth as some of the other ones, but still pretty good. Wow. Alright, so it'll be interesting. I don't know what'll happen when we get to the Lowe's parking lot. I'll probably have to disengage and turn it around, but... I'm also just curious to find out what happens with the with the waypoints, with adding the waypoints to it. So we got a Costco that's being built right there. Finally, Athens is going to get to be a big time city now. All right, let's see. It should get over. It should get over. Where is it going? Okay, I don't know what it's doing. Oh gosh. All right, that was a little aggressive and a little bit late. So not ideal. You have to give it a ding for that. I have not had to disengage, however. That was a little close behind the person in front of me. I may need to actually set this from assertive back to standard mode, because it's being a little more assertive than I'm comfortable with right now. So we will see what happens. Anyway, all right, off we go. And the Lowe's is up here shortly. So I don't know what I should have just put in. Well, if I put in the supercharger, however, it would have like done the whole thing of preconditioning the batteries. But I'm very curious to what it's going to do when it actually gets to the waypoint. So I think I'm going to close up the visualization just so I can see what's going on here. So yeah, interesting. It's got the little dots here which tell us. And I believe you can simplify the map so that it's not so busy with other things. It looks like it's pretty simplified already. So let's see what it does here. And oh, that was nice. It actually slightly went over the double yellow lines, which is pretty good. A little bit of a hard break there, but that's okay. The Lincoln kind of slowed down a little extra hard. Let's see if it can handle this. Very nice left-hand turn. Okay, I have no idea what it's going to do. Ooh, I have no idea what it's going to do with these bumps. Let's see what it does with the bumps. Oh, it visualized it, so that's good. And that was pretty nice. All right, okay. I'm just going to let it play out and see what it does, because I think it thinks the Lowe's is at the far end. But so that was 0 interventions, and not even, I guess that one moment when it got pretty close on the Lincoln's butt end, it looked like it might be something that I'd have to hit the brakes, but really pretty good. Okay, how's it going to handle this guy? All right, press accelerator to resume. Okay, so let's press the accelerator and see what happens. Okay, there's also a pedestrian walking out, so let's see. Hopefully it will avoid her. Okay. It's a little awkward to have to press the accelerator. Okay. Okay. I don't know how to tell it to, maybe if I tap on it? Autopilot navigation complete. Press accelerator to resume. All right. There's nobody else in the parking lot behind me, so I'm okay. I think now it's going to hopefully do the next stage. Okay. All right, let's see how it deals with this guy here. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, that's a disengagement. Okay, that's definitely a flag. It did not visualize the back end of that guy, so it definitely should have handled that. All right. So now. All right, that was unfortunate. I think it would have been okay except for the fact that guy was there, but it should have just stopped and waited for everything. That would have been a much better idea. Okay. So, unfortunately, one disengagement, but that's a fairly unusual situation. But again, I think part of that is it just didn't quite understand what it was looking at, and it might have avoided it. Again, I don't know, but I'm certainly not going to drive into the back of a sharp truck, like just to make sure that it's working or not. Okay, so this is a yield. It's coming to a complete stop. It didn't need to do that, but that's okay. And this is a Monday, but it's also like the Monday after Christmas, so traffic is pretty darn low. I want to go to the next one. Oh, it's actually navigating me back to Lowe's. I don't know how to tell it to. Don't know how to tell it to go here. Well, let's cancel this. Let's just navigate to Anytime Fitness now. All right. Okay. Interesting. It just did that right over that white line. Probably a little more aggressive than I would have done, but anyway. Okay, and it handled that. It handled the reroute pretty well because it was in the middle of the turn when I did that. So good for it. And let's see. So yeah. All right. I'm a little sad about the one disengagement, but that was a weird circumstance with a guy walking and some stuff that it needed to deal with, and it should be slowing down here. Yikes, there we go. Okay. And I think it's going to take us back the same way we came. Yep. Okay. So this will be good. It'll keep us off the highway. I think the highway is the least interesting part because it does pretty well with the highway at this point. Although the new stack will be here with version 11 as far as Elon Musk is concerned. I have not tried it on the highway, actually. I should probably try it just to make sure that it's still using the old stack, but I believe it is. So, and it's being patient. I wonder, eventually the car is going to have to learn how to honk. Like if somebody does that where they're just sitting there and not moving at the light. It needs like New York mode or something like that to like start honking as soon as the light changes. So, okay. And on the right, you may be able to see over here, that's where I'm talking about the new Costco is going to be. They've knocked out a very large area. My gosh, the turns are so smooth. That was actually a pretty good yield. So it did not attempt to drive up to that and then stop. It actually went right ahead and rolled through at a fairly slow speed, which is the appropriate thing to do there. So very nice. And let's see how this is all working. All right. Taking this in a nice clip. And I'm curious to see what it will do. There's cat paw prints all over my windshield. I had the car in the garage, so I'm not exactly sure how that happened. This car was there for like almost 2 weeks because, of course, we took the gas car to the airport because I was a little worried about cold weather and the battery potentially draining and, you know, having a problem when we got back. On Christmas Day originally was the day we were supposed to get back, and so I was just worried about all those factors. Turns out, number one, that Atlanta Parking West now has electrical charging stations. I'm not sure how you reserve them, but if we can plug into that, then of course it can be topped up, and so no problem at all. But also, number two, the temperatures, it's kind of frighteningly warm around here. It's, I mean, what is it right now? I guess it's not up yet. 16 degrees right now, and it's supposed to get up to 22 degrees centigrade today in end of December. That's just crazy temperatures. So anyway, the car would have been fine, I'm sure, because it would have been not exposed to the sun and the temperatures were never that cold. But anyway, I do wonder, I don't think that there's a sort of, I know that there's kind of like a deep sleep mode that you can put the car in, but the thing is, I would rather have the Sentry mode available when the car is in the parking garage. I don't know. It would be something for Tesla to work on, to do some sort of like long-term parking mode or something where it would at least have some sort of minimal level of Sentry mode activity available in case somebody started messing with the car in a big way, but it would be super unsensitive. And but I don't know. Again, you know, it does take up battery power for it to sit and do that, and for 10 or 15 days when it's just sitting there, that could be a problem. So, all right. So here we come at the end of this road. Again, it's handling all of this stuff. I can't believe I'm just talking to you and not even really, I'm paying attention, obviously, but not having to be completely freaked out because so many of these areas on this road, I kind of wish I was turning left up here, right here, because this left-hand turn has been a little bit of a bugaboo before. It started to do better with 10.5, but anyway, let's see how it handles this. This is kind of it's a stop and go kind of situation, but it's gonna have to creep out and see what the traffic is. Man, again, traffic is pretty light this morning, so let's see if it'll handle this. I'm sorry, dude, behind me. It's creeping super slow. I feel bad for the guy behind me, but okay, I'm pushing the accelerator just to get it out because it's kind of getting into dangerous territory with that guy behind us. So anyway, that was a little bit on the slow side. Let's see, it needs to get over into the left lane here. It should probably do it like right away, but again, I keep waiting for the navigation to tie up with this and for it to figure out that it can turn into these other lanes. Oh, that was good. Very nice. It handled that yellow light really nicely there. Okay, so I mean, it handled that okay, but when traffic is worse, it can be a problem. All right, we have an unprotected left coming up here, which terrifies the hell out of me because you can't even see it. Like, it's not just unprotected, but it's over a hill, so every time I drive this, I'm always like, ooh. And you can see cars coming, and it's gonna take it. Wow, aggressive, but good. And let's see how it handles this into the parking lot. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to dump us off, but you can see Anytime Fitness up there. And all right, I think, I mean, this is good enough. That's, wow. So if this was a robo-taxi, that would be perfect. I'm going to take it out of autopilot and just park it. So let me make sure I get into a slot that's approximately correct. Again, I don't expect it to be super full. So review, amazing. 10.8 is astoundingly better. The only time I had to disengage was when it got stuck between that truck and the guy, and all it should have done is wait. Again, it's possible that it would have waited and stopped there, but I wasn't going to chance driving the car, especially because that was like big pointy stuff that was sticking out. It would have been really bad for the car if it had hit it. So anyway, yeah, that's fantastic. The interface, I'm going to have to give it some time. I'm confused by it. I really thought that this is bringing up too much stuff. I thought there was a quick controls over here somewhere. So anyway, I'm going to have to like look at it for a while and give a review after using that for 1 week. I feel like a week is a minimum time to use a new interface before making a decision about whether it was better or worse. The interesting thing would be, of course, that after a week, if I went back to the old version and I was like, oh, this is so clunky and bad, then I would know that that was poor. But anyway, in the meantime, full self-driving is okay. So I've been refining with every version. I've been refining where I think we're going to get to feature complete full self-driving, where it's as good as an average human or better, and which means that it would be, you know, technologically capable of driving the car under all circumstances that a human could safely do so, and not that it would have regulatory approval, but that it could be used as a robo-taxi, or at the very least that you could go to sleep in your driver's seat and not have to worry about it, because the car would handle everything on its own, including emergent situations. So last time I said a year when we got to 10.5. Oh, I have to think about that. I think we're closer than a year now. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna back it up to say like 10 months now. So let's call this January 1st. It's the end of December, but so let's say that would be November 1st. So I feel a little bit like I'm committing to something that's a little scary since I don't have control over it, but I think we're looking at somewhere around November 1st before the car is feature complete. And that may actually mean that Tesla can take it out of beta at that point. You know, they may say this is good enough that we can take it out of beta. But anyway, in the meantime, so I'm backing it up. I did say 12 to 18 months, and now I'm actually saying a little bit less. Of course, it was 12 to 18 months from October. So we're looking at 12 months from the original thing. So yeah, I would say end of October, early November. So around there, and we'll have to see what the next data point that comes out is. But in the meantime, wow, super exciting. I mean, this is great stuff. I'm going to come around here quick and shut this down, but I hope you enjoyed this. This was very raw because I was just driving around, but I really hope you enjoyed watching this. And if you have a friend who has full self-driving beta, if you don't have it yourself, I highly recommend driving in it because it's pretty darn amazing. This thing is doing really, really well. So Andre Karpathy, Elon Musk, everybody working at Tesla in the AI division, wow, fantastic work. I will talk to you all later. Thank you. I hope you're having a lovely holiday week. Bye-bye.